Shalom. Start off by giving all praise, glory, honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to my elders and apostles at Great Millstone. And peace, safety, and much blessing to the Akim across the four corners of the earth that are pushing out this truth and sincerity and putting their life on the line to do so. I'm the brother of Rock from the GMS Atlanta Church. Lord willing, that lesson be edifying. And in this lesson, I'm just going to add on to the lesson that I did a few days ago, entitled Establish a Good Name. All right. And in the lesson, I went into how your works and who your character is very important when trying to establish a good name amongst, the body and ultimately, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, okay, establishing a good name in his eyes is overall the goal, okay. Now, I'm going to add to this lesson because in doing a little bit more reading, I ran across a few more scriptures that would have been a great addition to this lesson. So I'm just going to add it on, to this lesson. And starting off, I want to get Romans 15:4. It says, For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. All right, so we have great examples of men of the Lord in the scriptures that we can revert to that established a good name, in the sight of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Salaki. And those men that did so over these hundreds of thousands of years ago, we still know these accounts. All right, we still know these men by name. We still know their works and what they were all about because they established that good name, through Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And their name rings bells and they're everlasting. All right, we're still reading about these men to this day. All right, the great ones from our nation, which is the nation of Israel, Yasharallah. Okay, and in the first lesson I did, entitled Establish a Good Name, I went into how establishing a good name, is eternal. All right, it'll last forever. You become in loving kindness in the sight of man, and so on and so forth. It's a pretty good lesson. It's on my page here, GMS, Walking Circumspectly. So Romans 15:4, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures may have hope. All right. So in saying that, let's look at some of the things that were written aforetime. That shows that establishing a good name is very important, and that it has longevity in it. This is Sirach, the 44th chapter of Ecclesiasticus. Let me see here. I'll start at verse 6. This is Sirach 44:6. Rich men furnished with ability living peaceably in their habitations. And rich, not necessarily meaning monetarily, but rich in the spirit, rich in, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, of the scriptures. Verse 7, all these were honored in their generations and were the glory of their times. There be of them that have left a name behind them, that's left a name behind them, okay? Establishing a good name, it says that their praises might be reported. Verse 9, and some there be which have no memorial, who are perished. Those that didn't establish that good name, they're forgotten. Nobody ever remembers second and third place. You always remember who actually won, okay? And those people that win, that come in first place, establish a good name for themselves, and it lives on, okay? But it says, and some there be which have no memorial, who are perished. Those that had a bad name, that are forgotten. as though they had never been. Okay, you don't want to be one of those men. When your name is mentioned, everybody has that curious look on their face, like, hey, man, who the hell is that? All right, you want to be remembered. You want your name to be established and ring bells in righteousness. Okay, it says, as though they had never been, and are become as though they had never been born, and their children after them. Hey, and don't even remember, the children that come after you. And this is a great addition to the lesson that I did, previously, entitled "Establish a Good Name," because I went into how establishing a good name lasts from generation to generation. All right, if you've come from a royal line or a righteous line, when you tell people who your grandfather is or who your father is, you're going to get reverence because of those men good works. All right, and you're going to be looked at as such as well, and you're going to be held to a certain standard to uphold that name. Okay, just like we're set to a standard to uphold the name of Yahweh Shai, because we are his chosen people. Okay, the nation of Israel. That comes with a heavy responsibility, man. So it shouldn't be taken lightly. We're walking in the names of these men that have established a good name before us, and we can't tarnish it. Okay, where was I? It says, verse 10, but these were merciful men whose righteousness have not been forgotten. All right, those that have established a good name that hasn't been forgotten. Verse 11, with their seed shall continually remain a good inheritance, and their children are within the covenant. Their seed standeth fast, and their children for their sakes. Their seed shall remain forever, and their glory shall be not blotted out. All right, that good name has the eternal weight that it holds. Okay, nobody remembers a fucking loser. Okay. Verse 14, their bodies are buried in peace, but their name liveth forever. All right, that's why it's important to establish a good name. And the name that we've coming under Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is very established with his works, and with how he loves and have mercy and kindness, and also is a terrible power. All of those things that are associated with our Lord and Savior's name, is righteousness. Okay. Verse 15, the people will tell of their wisdom, and the congregation will shew forth their praise. Salaki. Now, verse 16 gets into those that came before us. I read, the things that are written for a time, written for our learning. All right, so these, starting in verse 16, these are men that established a good name, in the eyes of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Verse 16, Enoch pleased the Lord and was translated, being an example of repentance to all generations. Verse 17, Noah was found perfect and righteous in the time of wrath. He was taken in exchange for the world. Therefore was he left as a remnant unto the earth when the flood came. Verse 18, an everlasting covenant was made with him, and all flesh should perish no more by the flood. Verse 19, Abraham was a great father of many people, in glory was there none like unto him. Verse 20, who kept the law of the Most High and was in covenant with him. He established the covenant in his flesh, and when he was proved, he was found faithful. Verse 21, therefore he assured him by an oath that he would bless the nations of his seed, and that he would multiply him as the dust of the earth, and exalt his seed as the stars. All right, so he's established that good name in the eyes of Yahweh Shemi Yahushai, and it's trickling down into generation upon generations, man. Abraham being, father of a multitude, okay, which trickled down between Isaac and Jacob, okay, which Jacob's name was changed to Israel, and that's where you get the Israelites from. the 12 tribes that stem from Jacob. And it'll go into it if I continue to read. Verse 24, therefore he assured him by an oath that he would bless the nations of his seed, and that he would multiply him as the dust of the earth, and exalt his seed as the stars, and cause them to inherit from sea to sea, and from the river unto the utmost part of the land. Verse 22, with Isaac did he establish likewise for Abraham his father's sake the blessing of all men, and the covenant, and made it rest upon the head of Jacob. He acknowledged him in his blessing, and gave him a heritage, and divided his portions among the 12 tribes. Among the 12 tribes did he partner. Okay, so it's important to establish a good name, and when that, and also falling under the umbrella or the lineage which makes us the Israelites of these great men that was just read about in Sirach, the 44th chapter. We have to hold ourselves to a certain standard, because the name Israel is something that has been established in good works, and we have to continue to do those things. All right. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying, giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakakodash, Shalom.